Hello there. This is an astrological forecast for Gemini for 2012. And this also applies if you have a Gemini ascendant. So, my dear Geminis, big year coming up, 2012, of course. We've all heard of 2012. And astrologically, there's a lot happening in the heavens, and especially going to affect mutable signs like you. All the mutable signs are going to be greatly affected by the planets because so many of them are going into mutable signs, and so it will give you extra lessons and extra things happening for you in your life. You certainly, Geminis, are not going to be bored this year. That's one thing with all these aspects going on. I doubt that you'll be bored for very long, if you are at all. So let's start out with Mars. Mars goes retrograde. Mars is the planet of energy, of action, of doing something, of accomplishing. And Mars is retrograde from January the 24th until April the 14th. And it's in your 4th house of home. So, if you've been wanting to move and you've been planning a move, or you've been wanting to sell a property or buy a property, during the retrograde is very possibly a chance when it will all come together for you. What I would not recommend is actually making a move or starting something new with respect to the home during the retrograde if you haven't started something beforehand. Retrogrades always complete something. They also allow you to reflect on your family and home situation. So Mars also slows down the affairs of this house when it's retrograde. So it will be a good time to meet up with family members, to talk, to see if there are any emotional issues that maybe need to be dealt with. Good time for renovations, repairs, anything like that with Mars retrograde will be very good to do during this retrograde. But you may be reconsidering as well your options as to where you live, whether you plan maybe on moving, maybe moving state, maybe even moving country. All these aspects you'll be thinking about, but research them and plot a course of action while Mars is retrograde. And then when it goes direct on April 14th, then take all of your actions, because it will be much easier. The energies will be more easy for you at that time. On February the 4th, we have Neptune changing signs until 2025, and it's in your 10th house, Geminis. So first thing to say is you really may decide on a change of career during this transit. A career that's got a lot more meaning and a sense of purpose. That's what you're going to be looking for. It will be a wonderful time for those of you who are interested in it to actually start a career as a professional psychic or astrologer or numerologist or healer, or whatever, particularly in the metaphysical field, will be very good. And also during this transit, anything involving television, media, video, all these professions would be very well aspected. But it's more than likely as well that you'll go through periods of insecurity and being uncertain about your career direction. So you may go from one thing to another. Quite a few changes possibly for you, Geminis, and you don't mind a few changes over these next years until 2025 with this transit of Neptune through your 11th house. But the fact that it starts this year, it'll be a different vibration and you will notice it, those things that I shared with you. Then on May the 15th, until June the 27th, we've got Venus going retrograde in Gemini, in your sign. And so it's in your 1st house. So Geminis, when Venus goes retrograde, this can bring loved ones, lovers particularly, from the past back into your life. If you've had problems in a relationship, this is a great time to resolve them during the Venus retrograde. What it is not terribly good for you, Geminis, is having any kind of cosmetic surgery or doing anything physical for yourself. So no big purchases on jewellery or nice clothing, all that. That would not be recommended, because when Venus goes direct, you may find that you really don't like them, or they're all the wrong colours, or they don't match. As well, you will find that your pace of your relationships will slow down during this period. And it's a wonderful time to sort out any issues that you have in relationships. It's a great time for anything creative, anything musical. it's not a good time to borrow or lend money. But it is a good time if you would like to buy something cheap and inexpensive at a flea market or a garage sale or something like that. Then Venus retrograde, it is a good time for that. Just no high ticket items. And we do have some very nice news for you Geminis, is that on June the 12th until the following year of June of 2013, we have got Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, going into Gemini. So for the last 6 months of the year, we've got Jupiter in your sign. So this has to be the year where you are going to learn a lot. You've got to take advantage of opportunities. You've got to go after opportunities. But if it was ever a time for growth, for expansion, for learning, for new things coming into your life, for a greater social circle, more friends, more stimulation, this will be it these last 6 months of the year for you. We've had Saturn. We will have Saturn in your 5th house until October the 5th. So serious time if you want to start a business, or if you've already started a business, to put a good structure into it, and a very good chance of being very successful in your own business. After October the 5th, Saturn moves into your 6th house of work, and it's there until October of 2015 pretty much. So you may find yourself with a lot of hard work ahead of you, with some responsibilities. It's very important that you don't scatter your energies, because I know at this time you'll have Jupiter in Gemini and you'll be all excited about lots of different projects. But the Saturn in the 6th house will balance that out a little bit. So make sure that you don't scatter yourself, and make sure that you attend to your health and your body, what it's telling you when it wants rest and it doesn't want to party so much. You need to rest and take notice of those messages. So Geminis, it's going to have its challenges, of course. Every year has its challenges, but certainly this year, the last 6 months of the year, a lot of opportunities coming to you, and be ready to go with change, but be ready to be very proactive about going after those opportunities. They are there for you. So there you have it. I wish you a great year. And you might want to have a reading about what 2012 has in store for you and how it looks in your aspects, in your personal chart, and how you can make best use of the energies. You might want to ask me a question for $25 that I'll answer in an email of up to 150 words. Whatever happens, I'd be delighted to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.